And we are back, and just in time for Juneteenth, we watched The Last Dragon from 1985, rated PG-13, with a runtime of 1 hour and 49 minutes. This we caught on Tubi, 2 for 2 today with Tubi, and comes to us from director Michael Schultz with a screenplay by Louis Venosta. And this is from Barry Gordy's production company, Motown Productions, in which, according to IMDb, in New York City, a young man searches for a master to obtain the final level of martial arts mastery known as the Glow. This stars Taimak. I think this was his first film. I think they said in the trivia he was 19 years old, as Leroy Green, otherwise known as Bruce Leroy, who is very enamored of Chinese culture and studies kung fu, and actually even teaches a class to the neighborhood kids while also taking lessons from his, I guess, master. And in one of his lessons, his teacher is basically like, we're done here. And Leroy just can't believe it. So his teacher basically puts him on this wild goose chase, or
yeah, he has to find the hidden master, some dumb guy.
yes.
And he gives him a talisman, which is apparently just like a belt buckle. I got to be honest, his master was kind of a douchebag.
Yes. I actually went to see this in the theater, and I had forgotten how many people were in it. Faith Prince, who plays Angela, who is Eddie Arkadian's girlfriend.
Who is she? That, like, I don't know who that person is.
She's been in stuff. She's like a character actress. She's been in stuff.
Oh, okay.
And
William H. Macy was
William
there.
H. I was going to get to him in a second, but Vanity is the female lead here. She, I guess, was one of Prince's girls and wound up also going the actress route. Julius Carry, who played Sho'nuff, the Shogun of Harlem, who we found out is classically trained.
Who's the master?
Sho'nuff. Christopher Murney, also a character actor, Eddie Arkadian, Mike Starr, who played Rock, his heavy.
I've seen that guy in a ton of stuff. That
yeah,
guy.
yeah. Leo O'Brien, who played Richie Green, Leroy's younger brother. Esther Marrow, his mother. Jim Moody, who played his dad. Little Rudy Huxtable as his younger sister. And, of course, Ernie Reyes Jr.,
Yeah, who gets thrown in there in the last, like, 30 minutes of the film,
yeah.
and he gets some key spots in the thing just because it's
also,
like, hey, he knows karate.
Yeah, and also a martial arts choreography credit at the end of the credits.
Yeah,
right?
for, like, a kid who looked like he was, like, 6 years old
at the time. Yeah. I think he was born the same year as me. So, what was this, 85? So, he was about 13. He
was 13 at that point? He
was tiny.
Did he have like that Emmanuel Webster disease or something?
No, he wasn't that tiny, but he looked younger for sure. Yeah. Yes, and to your point, William H. Macy is JJ and Chaz Palminteri as one of the goons.
Hood number 2. When they show Eddie Arkadian's hoods later on, I don't think he's with them anymore. It's like
he
Chaz Palminteri was just sort of like, I've had enough of this movie. I'm out.
Doesn't he go and like star search some new heavies?
That's right.
Final battle. He's got that one guy who just grunts. And he's like, pay him whatever he wants.
Yeah, and then like out of nowhere, that fat Mohawk Santa.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
He looked like
at the final scene.
Yeah, he looked like. Do you remember Kenny Rogers' Jackass?
Yes.
He looked like Will Sasso as Kenny Rogers, but with a mohawk.
So let's get into it. I'm assuming this is your first time. You've never seen this before.
I have always avoided this film whenever it was on television.
Why?
It just looked terrible. Because I loved Kung Fu movies, and this just looked awful. And like the big selling point was, not only do you have like the sounds of Kung Fu, which I have admitted that as a child I wished that I could do. I would try to move my arms that fast so that it would make that.
Yes.
But my dad was like, I'm sorry, Raymond, it will never happen.
It doesn't work that way.
Crushed my dream as a child. But they actually had glowing auras about them while they fought. Although they didn't really have it that much.
No. It was like last minute FX.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there wasn't a lot of budget in this film. Although it did reasonably well.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It wasn't as bad as I envisioned it to be, but it's still pretty bad.
It's a silly film.
It's a silly movie. Bruce Leroy is ridiculous. I mean, there's one thing to be appreciative of a foreign culture, but Bruce Leroy took it to an absolute level. He was in a movie theater eating popcorn with chopsticks.
Yeah. He was out of control. I don't think, though, in the lens of 2025, like, we absolutely could not have this film. It would have to be rewritten.
People will get their panties in a twist about cultural appropriation. There was nothing negative about it. If there was a negative cultural appropriation in this film, it was the dudes from the Some Dumb Goy Factory.
Yes.
They were like borderline offensive.
Yes, I agree.
They were just like, yeah, we're black. No, you're three Asian dudes talking like black dudes from the 70s.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't call each other like jive turkeys.
Yes. I mean, it was close.
It was close. They were almost there.
But I also feel like in 1985, I don't think that the intent was to be...
No, absolutely not. Honestly, back then you could do stuff like that. You could show your appreciation by I'm gonna dress like a coolie.
I didn't know what that word meant until you explained it to me.
I'm gonna wear one of those big hats that they wear in the rice paddy to protect myself from the sun, even though I'm inside a movie theater.
And I'm gonna wear this like outfit that I've seen Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon.
Well, that's been copied some. That was, I think, in any film where they reference Bruce Lee, they got to have somebody come out wearing the yellow bodysuit with the stripe down the side. It's classic.
But I also, as far as cultural appropriation, I feel like it was more homage and it was done with love. From the few things that I read quickly, it seemed like because he was the Motown guy, he wanted to showcase the music, which there is in this film, plus urban culture, which you see with Leroy's younger brother, Richie, and some of the other sequences, even with Laura Charles and her, I guess, American Bandstand kind of copy show.
Seventh Heaven.
And that awful song. Wow.
Oh, my God. That was another thing that was funny, that she comes out and she gets to sing her song on her show, Seventh Heaven, and her song is actually worse than Eddie Arkadian's girlfriend's song. What was it called? Like Dirty Books or something?
You know what? You're not wrong. You're
no,
not wrong.
Dirty Books was way better.
And there was like this push to do all these things melded into this film. Is it successful? I mean, 1985 me loved this film a lot. I think I saw it twice in the theater.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why this is sort of like a cult classic rather than a critical one. It appeals to a young audience. Nobody went into this thinking, oh, we're going to win all the awards at the Academy.
With that script and those performances,
oh my God,
they were so wooden, the two of them, right?
Oh,
Vanity and him.
Yeah, they were terrible actors, both of them. I mean, Bruce Leroy was there because he knew how to do the moves, although apparently not those moves, but martial arts moves.
Olive G, this is your first time seeing this. What did you think of the film?
It was a film. There's like, it's not like bad, but it's not good either. Like it's just there.
Did you have fun watching it at least?
Yeah, it was stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's stupid fun.
Yeah. I'm gratified because being of a certain age, like I said, I actually saw this in the theater. Sometimes it's dicey going back into that because you just don't know how. Like, Weird Science did not translate well to modern day. That's a terrible film. But this, I mean, to your point, it's not winning any awards. It's not like an award-winning script or cinematography. The performances are terrible. But it was like silly popcorn summer fun. And I actually enjoyed watching it because it took me back to a different time and place where things were much more simple.
I gotta say, I think a lot of what saves this movie is Sho'nuff, the Shogun of Harlem.
The Shogun of Harlem is amazing. He was a way better villain than Eddie Arkadian. I was like,
I don't know. I kind of don't know why Arkadian was there.
It should have just been Sho'nuff.
Yeah, I feel like the film kind of was a little bit all over the place. They could have done with a bit of focusing. And another thing that really annoyed me, was Arkadian's fish tank. Yes. They introduce it and then they just drop it. And it's sort of like one of the basics of storytelling is the concept of Chekhov's gun. Mm-hmm. If you're going to introduce something, you better use it.
Right, and follow through.
Follow through. If you introduce something to the story and you don't use it, it's sort of like, well, why was that even there? And that, for me, was Arkadian. Arkadian's fish tank is the new Chekhov's gun. Why wasn't it there at the end to throw Arkadian into? That's seriously what I was expecting to happen, and I was incredibly disappointed that it didn't happen.
You were robbed. So let's get into it. Olive G, did you have a favorite character in this film?
Not really.
No? Did you like Laura?
No, Laura was stupid.
Why was she stupid?
Because, I don't know. I just found her, like, something about her annoyed me. In the fact that she kept, like, pining over this guy.
Yeah, there wasn't anything special about him.
He had the mentality of a child. So it was kind of weird that I can understand, okay, physically she finds him attractive, but he really did have the mentality of a child. He was far less developed than, I guess, even his brother. His brother was immature too, with, hey, you're my woman, that sort of thing. But Bruce Leroy
he was like a child.
Yeah, he was like a little kid who really loved kung fu movies and never grew up. Like, I could imagine him still playing with action figures.
I know it's a fluff film, but maybe we can dive into some themes and elements. So there's the theme of identity and self-mastery, which I think is interesting for a movie that's kind of popcorn light.
That's really nothing new for the martial arts genre, especially like old kung fu movies where a lot of those films revolved around a plot of some peasant or whatever
avenging his master.
Not only avenging his or either just avenging his master or avenging his village, but making something more of themselves and finding that sort of inner power to defeat the bad guy who is just sort of like, I am all power. I am just complete force and I'm dominating everybody. Whereas the hero, they're not really doing it for themselves. They're doing it for the benefit of all.
Fair enough, but this is not a Shaw Brothers movie. This is a Motown production through the lens of a young black man and mixing in urban culture, contemporary music for the time. This is 1985. That DeBarge song was a huge monster hit.
I never knew that DeBarge was a man until I saw this movie.
Yeah. There's other songs in the film, but that was the big breakout song. That was such a summer jam and still holds up even after all this time. So to your point, this is kind of like the hero's journey. He's looking for self-actualization, knowledge, wisdom, power, and he's looking for it outside of himself. But he ultimately learns that everything that he needs to find is within him.
Yeah, finally he goes back to his master after he realizes the master sent him on a wild goose chase. And the master basically just says, hey, I got a plane to catch. Listen, it's in your head. Get out of here. He could have saved that kid so much trouble. We wouldn't have had to see any of the scenes in the fortune cookie factory where he finally meets some dumb goy, which is some sort of like Buck Rogers looking computer.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just manufacturing.
Shiny and chrome.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about the glow? Sort of anticlimactic.
Yeah, I mean, they only show it for a little bit, and it's sort of, you didn't really need it. I mean, Sho'nuff had the glow without having to do any of that crap. Yeah, he just had and he had a cooler red glow.
Yes.
Yeah, honestly, the thing that makes this film endure is Sho'nuff.
Sho'nuff, who, I mean, we still hear, I think every once in a while when I'm talking to you, I say Sho'nuff.
Yeah, and people remember Sho'nuff more than they remember Bruce Leroy.
And he cuts a cool figure. I mean, he's this big, tall guy who's just menacing. And I mean,
he's wearing shoulder pads everywhere. He must have a closet just filled with various types of shoulder pads, and he just is like, which ones will I wear today? The golden dragons or the ones with monkeys on them?
Well, he's sort of like this mix. Like the top was almost like football player.
Yeah.
Right?
They were literally football shoulder pads.
Right. And then the hair was very reminiscent of old
like Japanese shoguns.
Yeah. It's like this amalgamation of culture, but I don't think it's done in a negative way. I think it's like genuine love for this stuff.
There is a huge amount of love from like the black and hip hop community for martial arts movies. I mean, the Wu-Tang Clan is like the ultimate personification of that. Yeah. And this could probably be seen as the first sign of it in a motion picture.
Where it crosses over all these other genres as well.
I mean, even back then, even in Enter the Dragon, which is a film that they watch in the movie, there was the black character who went on to do his own stuff. I forgot what his name was, but he was like Black Belt Jones or whatever. That was a part of it. All blaxploitation movies, for some reason, even if they couldn't do it. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen Dolomite, but Rudy Ray Moore can't kick his leg very high, but he's supposedly such a kung fu master that he could rip somebody's heart out of their body. There is a huge influence there. It's not meant in any sort of derogatory way or, we're making fun of those movies or anything.
Or that culture.
It's they love it. And what's not to love? Yeah. I loved kung fu movies. They're great. I grew up watching them. Like I said, as a child, I wished I could move my arms that fast. Seriously, the 5 Deadly Venoms and
Flying Guillotine.
The Flying Guillotine. There was one with like all these guys are golden arms and silver spear and great stuff.
Yeah.
Love that stuff. The Vital Nerve. The Vital Nerve.
The Tiger Palm.
There was tiger style, there was crane style, snake style. Oh, they had such it was like, I wish the world could be like this, where you could just be completely defeated, and then for some reason, while you're laying in your beaten haze, you see like a praying mantis on a rock just swinging its arms, and you're like, that's the key. And you just start copying the praying mantis, and then you come back and you kill everybody. You're like, what is this kung fu you're using?
Yes.
It's amazing.
Drunken Monkey.
Four Winds style. It's always something crazy. It's always something. And if you lose a limb or you go blind, everything else just becomes infinitely more powerful. Every trope is amazing.
Yes. I mean, those Shaw Brother movies were the bomb diggity. For sure. I don't have a critique here. I'm excited that this movie translated. I'm happy that things that could have been problematic really weren't. I mean, this is obviously dated, and things like, I didn't really care for the Eddie Arkadian character. I agree with you. I think if they had focused on Sho'nuff, on the Shogun of Harlem, that would have been better.
Yeah.
He was definitely a better heavy or antagonist in the film. And
Olive, who'd you like better, Sho'nuff or Eddie Arkadian?
Sho'nuff.
Right. Who's the meanest?
Sho'nuff.
Yeah, I'm really happy that I got to share this with you guys, and glad that it wasn't crap, I guess.
I mean, as far as old films go, this one's still pretty good. You could watch this and still have fun with it. It's not going to wow you, but
it's not Citizen
you're not going to be disgusted or offended or anything like that. It's just silly fun. It was silly fun back then. It's silly fun now. If you like 80s music, you're going to enjoy that. I mean, aside from that Seventh Heaven song, which was god-awful.
Terrible. Olive G, what did you think of the fashions of the 80s? Did you wear any of that?
They look stupid.
No? Okay.
It really wasn't a fashion showcase.
It wasn't, but I mean, it is a snapshot of the pop culture, how people dress. I mean, even as crazy as you pointed out Angela's outfit, the Eddie Arkadian's girlfriend, that thing that she was wearing, that was very steeped in the culture, in the style of the time.
Yeah.
Big hair.
The big hair was present. I mean, Vanity's hair could have been another character.
Exactly. All the hairspray must have been used in everyone's hair.
I think there was amazing. One sequence where her hair looked relatively relaxed, but even then it was still quite large.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only people that didn't, like Ernie Reyes Jr. didn't have products in his hair.
Well, he had that little bullhead haircut that all especially little Asian kids. Yeah. I mean, I remember every kid I went to elementary school with, all the Asian kids had that haircut.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's nothing really to critique here. It's fun. I think if I was going to give this a number from 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 7. I think it lives well in nostalgia, but it's also not a bad film to revisit in modern times. I think whatever cultural appropriation isn't done maliciously or with evil or negative intent. I think it's a celebratory embrace from one culture to another. I love the mixing of different genres, whether it's Black urban culture, Motown music. You have like a Smokey Robinson song at the end. He's the epitome of Motown. You have the younger generation at that time in 85, DeBarge, all these brothers and the one sister. And they had this huge monster hit that got played over and over and over again. I think also was a big push for the film and I think helped propel it to a decent amount of success, I think. I mean, this, from according to the IMDb page, the budget on this was $10 million and the gross worldwide is a little under $26 million. So that's not a bad
more than made its money back.
Yeah,
and honestly, since then,
yes,
as we mentioned, it achieved cult status. So people were renting it, people were buying it. There's merchandise.
Right.
People still
talk about
Sho'nuff. I mean, at least Sho'nuff.
Yes. No one's talking about Taimak. Olive G, 1 to 10. What would you give this film?
Probably like a 7.
7. What did you say? It's fun. Come on, give it a 7.
All right, I'll give it a 7.
Yay! 3 7s.
3 7s.
Yay! Run, don't walk, and check out Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon, playing on Tubi, but
begrudging 7.
But also to buy rent on Prime Video. Before you change your mind, I'm going to wrap it up. But before we do, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll come back with another review soon. And with that, we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.
Good night.